Okay, back again. This video is in kind of reply to two people that two of my subscribers that had some questions. First one was from Butch. He sent me a note asking about a round rubbery substance that came that exited or discharged from his exhaust port down below. He described it to me as a fishing lure type worm kind of a thing, so like a silicone type deal. He sent me a picture of it, and I'll try to put it in this video so you can see. So Butch and everybody else, what I've discovered is that round piece of material is excess silicone at one of the joints that's up in the exhaust system somewhere, that gets flushed out. It's very common. I found a couple places online too, but I went to the local dealer, showed him Butch's picture, and he confirmed. Happens in every model, just normally most people don't see it because they're either in the water when it comes out or they're flushing it out. But he says it's very common, nothing to worry about. So that's it. It's seriously, it's about quarter size, it looks like. Maybe a little bit bigger, but it just looks like silicone. So if you experience that, don't sweat it. Not a big deal. Okay. The next video, or the next viewer, said he just got an AR-240. He didn't mention the year, but he said it did not come with a 12-volt power supply. I thought that was kind of strange because, you know, most of ours, you know, they're right here. Kind of comes standard. You know, it's got the jack there. You know, my stereo came with the USB. Mine's a little rusted. Mine actually needs to be switched out. But so he kind of asked for some guidance on how to do that. So this video is for you, Gallagher. There's a couple different ways you can approach this. Whichever way, make sure you get marine grade. Okay, there's several kinds. You can get kinds that, like I just showed you, that are built in like that. You can get some external ones that are sealed, where you could screw them like on the side here if you wanted to, or you could screw them down below, and then you just kind of run it underneath and back to the battery. So here's what I'm going to do for you. I've got a generic one. It's kind of like an extension, but it's the same concept. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of run through this and give you an idea on how to go about this. So let me see where I put this. Okay, so here's what I got. This is just an old piece of crap that I have. This was just gator clips on this one. But you can see this is my 12-volt power supply. That's it. Your basic generic cigarette lighter. So what you're going to want to do is, you know, you would cut these off, so that way you get a good ground, and then you would put some sort of, I only brought a little stack with me, but you know, some sort of rounded washer that'll fit on the terminals of your battery. Okay, so you got to stick with positive, positive, negative, negative. Now, depending on what you're going to plug into this thing, Gallagher, you're going to need to find out how much juice it's going to pull. So that's going to require some research on your part, because what that does, that'll determine what gauge of wire you get. If you don't know what gauge is the thickness of the wire. You know, this isn't very thick. This is, if I had to take a swag, which is a scientific wild-ass guess, this is probably like an 8 gauge. If I were you, I'd use about a 12 gauge wire. You can never go wrong with 12 gauge. That'll allow you to plug in some pretty juice pulling stuff. So, depending on the kind you get, again, if you get these kind right here that are flush mounted, you would need to drill a hole in your dash, wherever you want to put it. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it very well in here. I don't think so. That black area in there, you can see where it's just a couple of wires hanging out the back, man. That's it. So, and then it screws in, like there's like a male and a female piece. You know, you would stick this through your hole, and then there would be the outer piece that would screw it, and then it would just pinch in between the plastic, so then it's like flush mounted. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. So that's it. So basically, and what I'll do here is see if I can. You get your 12 gauge wire, get a black and a red. You make sure you cut enough to go from wherever you're going to put it, hide it, and then because you're going to want to go behind everything here, you have to get underneath, run the wire down behind the seat, down this way, and then over. So I guess where some of my stereo stuff is, it goes into the engine compartment. So you have to run it over, and then you just put a positive and negative on the battery. Okay? Now, no matter what you do, make sure you get one of these. Okay? That's just an inline fuse. Alright? This one had, I think this was for an old stereo, 10 amp fuse. That's just to prevent shit from blowing up. If there's a surge of any kind, you know, you just put that basically right here. If you cut this off, put that there, and then this goes straight to the battery. So it's in line with your positive line. And that really is all there is to it, Gallagher. It is seriously that simple. But you're going to need probably safely 20 feet of wire of each, black and white. 12 gauge wire is what I recommend. The piece, the actual 12 volt kit, I think you can get it at Walmart even, a marine grade one, and I want to say they're no more than 20 bucks, man. They're easy, and again, you can get some that comes with a little clip, and you can just screw it in somewhere, and it's external, but it's still waterproof. I recommend, if you just bought the boat, I don't know what year it is, but if you can figure out the flush mounted ones, I recommend that. Either one will work, but it is seriously as easy as mounting it, a black and red wire, hide all the wires all the way over to the battery, and then make sure you put an inline fuse on the positive side. It really is that simple, man, because I'll tell you, and I mentioned it to you in our little go back and forth online there. This was used to power my fan. So, I mean, you can see how the concept, even though this is going to be a little bit different than wiring it, the concept is the exact same. Okay? I just don't know if my battery's charged. So if you've got this, you just mounted it, you ran your wires. Hang on. You just plug that shit in. Here it is. Fan works. So all it is just an extension, man, and it's as simple as red to red, black to black. So really the only difference is if you're going to have it as a power supply to power things other than a silly ass fan, it's as simple as red to red, black to black, enough wire to the battery, and put in an inline fuse so you don't blow anything up. It's that easy, man. You could do this project. The wire's going to cost you quite a bit. Maybe like a Radio Shack or an auto parts store might have it, or you might just get it online. 12 gauge, you might probably get a better deal on like Amazon or something like that. But you could do this project for under 40 bucks, guarantee it. Versus having somebody to do it, they're going to charge you $40 an hour plus the kit, plus the wire, all that other stuff. Other than that, man, any connections that you make, any breaks in the line that you make where you have to splice them together, use some shrink wrap if you can. If you have any shrink wrap, you just put it around the seal, and then you heat this up and it shrinks and creates a nice tight seal and stuff. But I mean, no matter what you buy, the kit, it's going to have instructions in there, but I'm telling you, it's that easy. The hardest part about it is obviously running the wire and hiding it so you won't ever see it. But that's it, my friend. That's one of these projects where it can be intimidating if you've never done this stuff. the first step of anything that's worth doing is just taking that first step. You know, I learned that stuff from my dad. You know, don't be afraid of the project. Most people are afraid of the first step than more so than the project itself. So that first step is buying the piece, figure out where you want it, buy all the wires, make the connections, run it to the battery, put a fuse in it, and you're done. You could do it in a couple hours. So I kind of hope that gives you a good idea on how to run a 12-volt supply. They've even got some out there that got USBs in there, all in one piece. It's a dual mount. It's 2 holes. You have to drill 2 holes in there. A little bit different wiring scenario, but it's all relatively the same. You can charge your phone and, you know, iPod, whatever it is. But so yeah, that's it. I hope I answered the questions for Butch on the ring out of the exhaust discharge. And Gallagher, I hope I answered your question on the 12-volt power supply. So if you have any further questions, by all means, or if I skipped over anything or if I went too fast, let me know, and I will definitely take the time. I'll make the time to try to make it a little bit more simple. So, all right, everybody, have a good day.